Okay, I'm going to tell you about the time that I almost got suspended.
What?
There used to be these really stretchy, sticky, rubbery hands that you could get out of coin machines. And they were really long, and you could fling them, and you could catch papers with them and pull them back to you. Well, I brought two of those to school one day. And I was kind of goofing around with it, and it snapped on me while I was swinging it around, and it got stuck right up there on the ceiling. And it was a pretty sad state. It was all hairy and gross and whatnot, but it was mine. I didn't think I'd be able to get another one. I had to argue hard enough for Mom to get me the first one. And so I was determined to get this thing down off the ceiling. And so I stood around underneath it, throwing things at it, trying to get it off the ceiling until the principal showed up. And he pulled me aside. They got the janitor there with the ladder and pulled it down off the ceiling. And he took me into his office, and he said, well, looking through your records, I know you're not a bad kid. This is just a one-time thing, and so I'm not going to suspend you. We were thinking about it, but we're not going to suspend you because your file is clear. And so get back to class. And then he took this little ugly, hairy, sticky piece of rubber with two fingers and dropped it into his trash can. And that was before school, and then in homeroom there was an announcement that came over the intercom that said that these sticky hands were no longer allowed in the school. And everybody turned around and looked at me. Most generations have an event that happens in their life where you can say exactly where you were when that happened. For my parents, I think it was probably when Kennedy was shot. For me, it was when the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded. And I remember down this hallway was my science class. And my science teacher was a big supporter of the space program. In fact, we had a club called the Future Astronauts of America. And we were sitting in her class, and she had the radio going because she couldn't get a TV, but she had a radio going to listen to the launch of the Space Shuttle, the Space Shuttle Challenger. It was one of these classes down here. But it kept getting delayed, and finally class was over. And so I came down here. My next class was math. Down this hallway and around this corner. And we were just getting started for math class when the announcement came over at the intercom that the Space Shuttle Challenger had exploded, which was the worst space disaster that had happened so far in the history of the space program. I remember that my science teacher, she took it really hard. She was crying, and we were all kind of stunned about it. I remember the first time I saw it. So, that's that story. Down at the very end of this hallway, my last year in this school was 8th grade. And right after I left, well, no, not right after I left, because I went to the high school for 9th grade. And then after my 9th grade year, they moved 9th grade down into this school and only had 3 years at the high school. But 8th grade was my last year in this building, and I had an 8th grade English teacher that nobody liked, wore a suit and a tie every day, pressed, laundered, very stiff. Sometimes I wonder if he washed in the same starch that his shirts were washed in. And it was this class here. It was this classroom here. And I remember at the beginning of every class, he did an exercise called a 5-minute writing. And he would put a topic on the board, and for the first 5 minutes of class, we had to fill a page with writings about that topic, which I was never very good at because I'm much more concise than a page. But at the end of the year, we had a page of writing for every class that we came to school. For every day that we came to school, we had a page of these writings. And I remember the last day of school, one of my friends, somebody came and grabbed his notebooks and tossed all of those pages down the stairwell.
Whoa.
And they just coated the stairwell. And even though it wasn't his fault and he wasn't the one that did it, he got in trouble because his name was on all of those pages. When I was coming to school here, I had one friend that was pretty much a hellion. Just a crazy, crazy guy. We had a lot of fun, but that we probably shouldn't have had. But he had a teacher in this portable classroom here that he absolutely hated. And I remember one day, there's the shop there, we were coming in we were going out to shop or something like that. We were coming out this door, and he says to me, "Hey, watch this." And so I came over with him.
Oh, yes.
And we came right over here.
I can't see you on the screen. It's so dark in here, hardly.
And grabbed these two power switches, yanked them down, and shut off the power to the classroom. And I heard a yell from inside, and he took off running. And I heard a yell from inside, and that door slammed open, and I thought, oh crap, what am I gonna do? And so I just dropped all my books. And the teacher came running around. He says, "Which way did he go? Where did he go?" And I said, "I don't know. He went that way, he just ran into me." And the teacher took off around the corner, chasing after him.
Did he catch him?
No, I'm sure he knew who it was. I don't think he caught him that particular time. However, I came out here a couple of days later, and they had put padlocks on the switches.
And they're still padlocked.
Yes, they're still padlocked.